Most people assume information is public, available, accessible, shared. But information rarely arrives with equal meaning. The words may be identical. The interpretation rarely is. Some people receive the announcement. Others recognize what the announcement implies. And the difference between those two things is often where advantage begins. Information does not travel through space. It travels through systems, relationships, institutions, networks. And every system introduces its own logic, its own priorities, its own delays, its own filters. Which means information never arrives as a neutral object. It arrives already shaped by the environment through which it traveled. Facts alone rarely create advantage. Context does. A single piece of information can appear insignificant or transformative, depending on what surrounds it. The most sophisticated systems rarely compete for more information. They compete for better interpretation, because meaning is where advantage accumulates. Most people associate privilege with wealth, or status, or access. But one of the most durable forms of privilege is interpretive. The ability to recognize significance before consensus forms. To understand what a change means while others are still deciding whether it matters. Not through secrecy, through positioning. Modern environments produce more signals than any individual can process. So reality becomes selective. Not because information is hidden, because attention is limited. Every filter creates a different version of the environment. Every observer inherits a different reality. Not from what exists, but from what receives attention. The greatest advantage is rarely possessing information that nobody else has. It is recognizing relevance before everyone else does. Because once interpretation becomes consensus, the opportunity has usually passed. Consensus often feels like confirmation. But inside complex systems, it frequently marks the end of asymmetry. Information alone rarely changes outcomes. Context does. Interpretation does. Timing does. Because influence does not emerge from what is known. It emerges from how reality is understood. In the next episode, we examine the systems designed not to distribute information, but to control its movement. Because every structure decides what travels freely and what does not.